What is crack-a-lackin'? Hey, 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 somebody give me a 5 for 5, and we will get this going, baby. Hey, yeah, listen, guys, this is going to be the main part of my video here. We got these satellites now, they're launching, that have mirrors on them for sunlight. We're going to go deep into this a little bit here. They're planning on launching 50,000 of these things. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And you know, there's a lot of articles out here, but Dr. Tony Phillips really kind of summed it up over here a little bit better than what I thought a lot did for my audience, you guys. Anyway, we're also going to talk about, we had an M flare not too long ago. There's some Cme'S and stuff that could be heading our way. And we'll go into that. And check that out, guys. You see that roll? Yeah, that's a calibration roll, and we'll talk about that a little bit more too. And we are actually getting some solar weather right now. And we will definitely go into that too. But you're going to see it hit right about, oh, who knows when. It's getting ready to happen right there. Reconnection events. You're going to see this light up in red here. It's getting ready to happen. I think it's right at the end. Sorry I waited there a little bit, but you know, it just is what it is. Well, maybe it's not right there. Huh. Okay, we'll dig into that here in a minute. But here's a boring graph we're not going to look at. And here's the HP. This is the KP, but these are 30-minute averages instead of 3-hour. And we will go into that a little bit too. But anyway, guys, the main story is these mirrors, and we will be talking about that. So let me roll my intro, and yeah, see you in about 10 seconds. All right, guys, this is the main story, and it should be. This is, I'm not sure I like this, just to be honest. And before I get into that real quick, well, let's just talk about this now. I hate waiting for the main part of a video till the end. But yeah, so please like and share all this out if you could. It would be great if you really could, you know, help me out there. You guys have really been doing awesome with that, but we'll get into talking about that in a little while. So, guys, this is a company. This is an energy company. Okay? Yeah. This is just, yeah. So, anyway, Dr. Tony Phillips here is talking about it. Since SpaceX has begun launching Starlink in 2019, obviously, we've talked about that many times. Taking like big sky imaging, you can't even, these astronomers and stuff can't even get really good pictures without having those things flying in the background. They're everywhere. Okay? Let's see here. They're calling it the mega constellation numbers, nearly 11,000 functioning satellites up there right now. Just SpaceX. Starlink. Okay? Said 1,730 during the first half of 2026. Wow. It blows my mind. But check this out. That right there, you guys can read that, okay? I'm not saying that word because it just, the algorithm doesn't like it, and it's just crazy. Anyway, for this company right here, Reflect Orbital Incorporated, okay? This is an energy company. They're putting satellites up here with mirrors on them that will cast, let's see here, I think it was 5 kilometers, yeah. 5 kilometers wide right here, okay? Patch of light onto the Earth, about as bright as a full moon. Okay? So these satellites are going to be up there. They got mirrors on them. They're going to reflect sunlight. Okay? Now, that could be good, and it could be really, really bad. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, thank you. You're a sweetheart. Thank you for the gift of memberships. Awesome sauce, baby. Awesome sauce. So let me, yeah, I'm going to highlight that. Thank you for that. It's awesome. I know I'm kind of late tonight, guys, and I do apologize. Thank you for that, Kay. It really, it makes a huge difference, guys. And if I'm being, hey, Seraphim, if I'm being honest, I mean, yeah, it Yeah, it's helping me a lot right now, just to be honest with you. So, and I won't even talk about that anymore. But you know, you guys know I don't like talking about it anyway. I'm going to really do some really cool members content here also. But anyway, thank you, Kay. It's awesome. And Angel Wings, thank you. You're such an awesome person. You guys are all just great people. Let me highlight that too. I'm not sure whose is highlighted right now. Is that Angel's Wings? Okay. Let's highlight K's there for a few minutes, and we'll leave that there for a minute. Okay. So anyway, guys, they're going to put these mirrors up there, and they're going to shine it at night, right? On these, and people have, get this, they got to pay for it. It's an energy company, and they're doing it for, on the surface, it's a good thing, okay? And what I'm talking about is they're doing it so they can, you know, get real sunlight for like companies growing vegetation and things like that. Okay, on the surface it sounds awesome. This kind of technology can be something really, really awesome, or it could be really, really crazy. And like I said a minute ago, we've already got 11,000 Starlink plus everything else up there. You can't even get a picture of the sky anymore without having those things going in the background. Okay, now Reflect Orbital wants to launch 50,000 more by 2035. Check that out. I mean, it's crazy. Missed you too, Kay. Missed you too, sister, for real. We're back now, though. We're back full time doing this, guys. You guys know that. That's all. I mean, serious. Hopefully, I'm proving that to you guys now. I'm trying to, you know, just be here every night, like I said I was going to be, and I think I'm following through pretty good. Had a pretty rough day today, but you know, is what it is. Anyway, launch 50,000 more by 2035. I think about that. There's going to be 50,000 satellites up there by 2035 with mirrors on them. Now, it says if Reflect Orbital is realized, it could be calamitous not only for astronomy, but also for the natural world as a whole. So why is, if that's the case, why is that allowing it? Right here. I'm not saying the word. There's going to be a lot of opinions on this. There's going to be a lot of people on one side or the other of this whole subject. So I just want everybody to understand that. And in whatever side you're on, I have my opinions, but I don't force my opinions on other people. Hence, here on my channel, as I'm reporting on it, I try to do it like a real journalist should do. And I'm not a journalist. I'm not claiming that. So don't think that. But I try to just say what the information is and let you guys think for yourself. Because you guys are smart. Way smarter than I am. So anyway, it says selling sunlight on demand. Look at this. To solar farms, construction sites. So listen to this. Look, listen. Can you imagine? Hey, we're just going to get on I-70, go ahead, head west or east or whatever. Oh, yeah, they're doing some construction over there. Hey, let's call Reflect Orbital and let's just turn the sun on. It cracks me up. It really cracks me up. But that's exactly what they're doing. That's what they're trying to get accomplished here. Search and rescue teams. Now, see, that's a good thing. A search and rescue thing, if it's used for those kind of purposes, but you don't need 50,000 of them up there. So, now, I'm going to go to the other end of this. Right? So here's some of the bad things that can happen. Nocturnal animals at night, blooming, plants that bloom at night, nocturnal animals can be just knocked off their patterns. We've already got cicada patterns already, right? And that's because, we talk about the human resonance a lot here. And when the resonance isn't resonating correctly, that circadian pattern can mess with all of us. So why are we so naive to think that if we start messing, especially with like our nocturnal clocks, just our internal clocks that lets us not be nocturnal beings, and lets other animals that are, because it really wouldn't affect us a whole lot as far as our inner clock, because it's not going to really shine on us. right? This is going to be a very specific beam for whoever pays for it for a certain amount of time. It ain't like somebody's flipping the switch and it never goes dark, okay? So I want you guys to first get that, because you're going to have people out there telling you that, and that ain't what's happening, okay? And then first off, this isn't happening right away. I think they allowed them to launch, I can't remember exactly how many right now, but it's going to be 625 kilometers high. It's going to orbit, so it will cast a moving 5-kilometer wide patch of light. Okay, in the grand scheme of things, 5 kilometers is pretty small, but again, you got 50,000 of them. Okay, at the end of what they want to do, right? So I just have to, it's just really, really kind of crazy. Now, my mind, I'm going to tell you where my mind, well, let's just finish this up right here first. Tuned in by evolution to the rhythm in day and night, right? We all just talked about that. Yeah, these animals, they suddenly find their darkness interrupted. That can affect their eating patterns and all that. So we could see, like, things happening to animals, their food supply. All of that. It can all get jacked up. And I know that the big, the climate, not saying that word either, everybody has their opinion on that too. We're stepping in here acting like something that we probably shouldn't be, or should we? We can use this responsibly or we can't, right? And that's my whole point here. There is something good of this, and there are some things that are bad. And, not to mention, like I said, like astronomers are going to be going off on this. 50,000 more than things up there by 2035? That's 9 years. You're not going to get a picture of any star, any kind, especially like long exposure, without them things just flying all over the place. I just, man, it just blew my mind this is actually happening. But yeah, so anyway, let's go ahead and finish up this article. It said the FCC itself acknowledged some of these concerns. See, they even, hit on they're not stupid, right? They know what they're doing. Whether we think it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. We know that they know what they're doing. It's purposeful. So I'll just say that. Hey, D. Griffith, good to see you guys. Hey, guys, give me a roll call in there. Flamin' Jackson, my brother, you are awesome. I am so glad you're in here. You're awesome, dude. If you're in here, I'd have seen your name pop across there. Somebody else wrote it. Who wrote that? Oh, Seraphim, Angel Wings did. Is he in here? I didn't see him. If you're in here, brother, good to see you, man. Anyway, so, oh, by the way, if anybody knows Genius by Birth, would you guys please try to get a hold of her and let her know that I'm doing content again? I've been trying to, since, because I was gone for so long. She just added a whole lot to what we do here. She always commented and stuff. There's a lot of people I miss, and hopefully they can find out that I'm back to doing what I do, right? Anyway, but this is crazy, and let me say this too, and I'm just going to be blunt about this. Hey Trish, good to see you. When I was a kid, and I'm sure a lot of you guys did this too, right? I went outside. We didn't have all the technology we have now. So when I was playing as a kid, you could go outside and you could get a magnifying glass out of whatever you had, and you could take it outside. And whether people think this is bad or not, as kids we would burn ants with them, right? Are we becoming ants? That's just my question. That is the first thing that came to my mind. And I'm like, holy cow. I mean, if you got 50,000 magnifying glasses up there, which is what you got when you put a mirror up there, and let me tell you this too. I worked in the printing industry for over 20 years, and we use UV bulbs, right? UV light comes from the sun, but we use UV bulbs like you would see at a tanning bed, but they were smaller in size, but they were 5 times as more powerful than the sun, the power that we could get out of it, right? The sun would put on us. Hey, Nikki, good to see you. But I'll say this. we had reflectors around the bulb. They would focus in on whatever we were printing so it would dry the ink. So when we would start having problems with that ink drying, you know what we did? We would adjust the focal point of the reflectors. We couldn't get any more power out of the bulb. Just like we can't get more power out of the sun. So what do? Well, you take and you amplify it by using multiple reflectors. What does that sound like, guys? They could do that with these mirrors. That's all I'm saying. Okay? So, and let me tell you something. Well, those bulbs, man, they put off some power. We would run machines at 600 parts a minute, and it would dry them so fast. That's how, it was 600 parts each minute. The bowl, because I made food containers like Dannon and Cool Whip and things like that, was completely dry when it came out the backside of the machine. You could pick it up, inspect it, do everything you wanted to. No wet ink, anything. That's how strong that bulb was. That's exactly what our sun can do. Okay? So just keep that in mind. The sun can do more than that. You start throwing mirrors up there, and I'm not saying that could ever be used for anything like what I just said. I'm just saying that those are part of the bad things that could actually happen. You take something like what we did with like nuclear power. That's a good thing on the surface, right? It's clean. That's clean energy. Right? But look what happened with it. 1942, right? I mean, or whatever the year the bomb went off over there, when World War II. So, it just blows my mind how we can be so naive to even with the best of intentions right now. I cannot help but feel like this is just going to turn into a bad thing. That's all I'm saying. And I guess I try to ride the line here and not go one side or the other, because I'm leaning more towards don't do this in my own mind. I'll just tell you that. But I'm not like completely against putting a few up there, for like what I just said, like the emergency services, like at night. Like if somebody had like a really bad crash on I-70, like I just said, or something, and they needed light for something like that, yeah, sure. Flip it on for a couple hours. You see what I'm getting at there? That could be a really good thing. Because you wouldn't have to worry about trying to get light to something like that. If you could just flip a switch somewhere, and now all of a sudden you got sunlight 5 kilometers wide for a certain amount of time. You wouldn't need an outlet or generators or any of that stuff. And one of the biggest problems I have with it is this, right here. Okay? This is a private company. This is not something that, is whatever. I just read your message, Heather. Awesome. I'm glad you're here, girl. I really am. Anyway, so yeah, sorry about that, guys. But listen, you guys have your own opinions on this. I'm just bringing you the story, and I'm not going to pick a side. I'm really not, because I do think it could be good for like solar farms and construction sites and things like that. But as far as our ecosystem and the food chain and what they could actually be used for, man, it could be really turned for something bad. So it's in my opinion, it has to be highly regulated and highly guarded. If not, it's stuff like this right here. Look, I'm going to talk about this next anyway. China's space station is flying over the U.S. right now. So if you guys want to know where it's at, there's a hyperlink right over here. You just click on that, and it takes you to this thing. You have to pay like some sort of fee. And this isn't just for this. It'll tell you when anything's flying over in space, flying over your location. Okay? So if you guys are interested in something like that, go check that out. But it's flying over us right now. Okay? Whether we like it or not, it's happening. Like I said yesterday, we buy their toys, so why not let them fly a space station over us? I don't know. I just don't know about that kind of stuff, guys. All right. So, now, I wanted to give you guys that right at the front, okay? Because I didn't want to, I'm going to try to do that anyway as we move forward. Now, to the space weather update real quick. And I'm going to get another roll call from you guys here too. I'm so sorry. Give me a roll call while I do this, and then I'll say hi to everybody. But yeah, so we got an M flare right here, and we also got some geomagnetic activity. You see this right here? That's the KP. That's what measures it. That's the chart we use. If it gets to a 5, that's storm level, right? So these are 3-hour bars. Those are 3-hour averages. We can come over here to the German site. These are 30-minute averages. So right now it's kind of back down onto a downtick, okay? But the reason why I was looking at this is because of this. Okay, remember I was explaining the BZ yesterday? -6. Yeah, Donnie. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, the BZ right here, when we see the purple, right? That means it's at -6. So what does that mean? Let me do this. Sorry about that, guys. -6 means that we're in a position that will draw it in, right? So when I see it go -6, the first thing I do is I always come either over here and check out the HP, or I'll just look at the KP, right? But the HP updates every 30 minutes. So you're going to get more real-time data over here. But when I see those things, when I see that BZ do that, I'll look at the speed, the density right here real quick, and if they're moving either direction, doesn't matter. After that, I will go here and see what's going on, okay? And that's just my process that I do. Here's your density. You can see that we're getting some sort of solar wind increase, okay? The density's there. Now, I will also say this. We're getting a lot of reconnection events. You can see it. Whenever you get these little jolts from behind, it's a boom, like this, over and over and over again. Those are little reconnection events. And it's a very, very common thing when you get a bunch of those, or even just one of those, if it's strong enough, can put us in the storm level, okay? We're not there, but we're going to watch it, okay? Now here's the speed. You can really see the reconnection events on this. See that? The blues are moving from right to left, okay? So the dark reds and the dark blues are actually the same speed. They're just moving opposite directions. So that's what you're seeing. Now, like I said earlier about the BZ, if we look at our magnetic field, the magnetosphere right here, we look at it from the side, which is this view. The more that it's tilted to the negative, the more that we open up. Now imagine, and the reason why is this. Look, you see how we can kind of see where our magnetic field is anyway by looking at this, because this is the North Pole and that's the South Pole. So if you guys can see my cursor right here, the magnetic field lines are doing this, right? That's our magnetic field. We're weakest at our poles. So it's going to come in more at our poles. So if we take this and we tilt it further and further down, what happens? That means our pole is opening up to the sun. Okay? It's getting more and more in line with it. And when that happens, it's easier for stuff to come in. That's why the -6 is so important. Okay? And if we're in a positive, then we're kind of deflecting it because it's hitting more of our magnetic field. We got a better shield there, is what I'm trying to say. More of it. And that's just kind of a basic explanation there. But anyway, guys, here is our sun from SDO, and you're going to see a lot of that right there is nothing more than a calibration roll. Okay, they can control it from the Earth, and sometimes, like yesterday, remember I showed you how it got bumped by solar wind? Sometimes when that happens, they have to recalibrate it. It has to know where its home is. Like say if it didn't know, say it was off by 5 degrees, and then somebody and they didn't know it, and somebody from the surface said, hey, let's move it 6 degrees. Well, now you just moved it 11 degrees because you weren't moving it from home. Right? So, yeah, I just want to show you guys that because that's interesting. But this sunspot over here is very, very active. I've seen a lot of eruptions from this thing already, and it's rotating in. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that, okay? Now, this is the 131 angstrom, and you're going to see it on all of them because it's the same imaging just different UV angstroms of light. You see how that was? I mean, that's just, yeah. And then you even have this one here. This one here hasn't even crested the limb yet. So we're getting flares and stuff from both of these now. And this one here is actually flaring and erupting plasma out into space. So just kind of keep that in mind. And let's see here. As you can see here, watch this. See that? So, and we don't really have any kind of coronal hole action going on right now. This is small. That's in the Earth strike zone, but it is what it is, right? So when the atmosphere opens up on the sun, it allows all that plasma just to flow out. But anyway, that is the space weather update, guys. There really wasn't much to share with you guys on that end of it today. But I do think that this needs to be looked at. There's articles on this all over the place right now. Okay? This just got released today. All this information is current. I was trying to do it way earlier today. I actually emailed my moderators. They can attest to this really early today about that. I'd seen it come across my one of my pages that I look at all the time, and it was only like an hour old. And I'm not one to jump out just to try to be the first one there. I will try to make sure I got it correct. Okay? That's just how I work. The dawning sunset. What's up? Alright, guys. I'm going to try to back it up here and say hi to everybody, where they're from. Wisconsin Jen's in the house. Wisconsin. Skunk Hill, Utah. What up, AK? Heather Joy, my sister. Jan's in here. Heck yeah. DJ Griffin's in the house. Kay, thank you again, sister, for being here. And, yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the gifted memberships. And again, guys, anybody that just stayed, you know, hey, Carrington, what's going on? Guys, if you guys don't know, Carrington has a, well, Carrington app. It's a great space weather app. Go over there and check it out. Seriously, it's a really cool one. Hey, Alyssa, good to see you. Back to you, Alyssa. Yeah, way to word that and not get it flagged by the algorithm. Nikki's in the house. Trust and obey. Good to see you. Virginia's in the house. Gary, hey, what's up, my brother? Thanks for becoming a member. Seraphin Angel, what's happening? You've been a member, though, for a minute, I think. I'm pretty sure you have. Because that's why you got a green, pretty sure green is, I can't remember. Anyway, it's been such a while. Trish, you and your husband are awesome, just so you know. And they're from Las Vegas, baby. Love it. Love Las Vegas. Never been there. Want to. But I love Texas Hold'em, by the way. Hasn't the Earth been tilting for the last? Yes, it has. But when I'm talking about the tilt spirit, I'm talking about our magnetic field. The Earth itself, when we're talking about that stuff, like I said a minute ago, I'm not talking about our actual physical North Pole. What we're looking at here is our magnetic field, our magnetic pole. Those things move. They're constantly moving. Our geographic, like the Barber Pole where Santa Claus lives, is geographic North Pole. We're talking about magnetic north. So just to kind of clear that up. It's a good question, though. But yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry to kind of rush through that. I hope I didn't feel like it was rushed. I really just wanted to really get this out to you guys tonight. And I didn't have a whole lot of time to put a whole lot of things together. But I just want to make sure that I'm here every night and all that. What a name. Rick Sanchez, my spirits and Mama 8940. What a name. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. One of my moderators, baby. Hey, back at you, sister. Love you too, Aliyah. Love all you guys. YGN, thank my moderators, guys. They're the best. My managing moderators, you'll see them over on Adam's channel, Marfugal. Go check him out. Go check everybody out. Ron, everybody, right? So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. If anything else comes of this, we will definitely talk about it again, I'm sure. I'm trying to give you guys space weather and some news and stuff at the same time. So, you know, hopefully it'll make it a little bit more interesting for everybody. because I know it could kind of get dry and everything. But hopefully, you know, and definitely please go check out Dr. Tony Phillips over here at spaceweather.com. He does an awesome job. He deserves all the traffic he can get. He just really does a good thing. And if you're interested, I've seen this down here. You see this right here? They make jewelry here, and they take it and they put it up in a weather balloon, and it goes to the edge of space. They bring it back down, and then you can make the claim that this is in space. Because it was. Okay? So go check that out too if you guys. I think that's pretty cool. This is one of the better ones that I've seen. I've seen him send up Star Wars figures and all kinds of different things. It's pretty cool. Anyway, but go check him out over here at spaceweather.com because it just, yeah, he needs the traffic just like anybody else does. So, all right, guys, I'm going to leave you guys with, well, let's leave you with this image right here, and we'll do it like that. All right, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid. Thank you again, guys, for anybody that donated stuff, the gifted memberships and becoming members. Thanks a lot. Really do appreciate you.